Howdy doody. Right. This is a bit of a video to show why hard drive testing is just not a one size fits all. You know, one program's better than the other deal. Um, as an example, let's take a look. Right. Here we've got my disk D, which hard drive sentinel is saying 100%, 100% excellent, nothing wrong with it, fan dabby dozy, wow, what a great disc, you know, you have no problems with this whatsoever. Right, so what we're going to do first is we're going to take the first couple of gigabyte and just run a little test. So let's go to the surface test here, which if you're scanning for bad sectors is the best way to do it. So look, the drive D 1 gigabyte ended in BO. So we'll start that test. Off it'll go in a minute. Continue. Give it access. Alright, so that's going to go along its merry way. Start testing D for bad sectors. So we're going to let it run. Well, it's doing about 118 megabytes a second. So we'll leave it to run for about a minute or so. We'll do the same in Victoria in a minute. Now, this is a drive I know not to have been tested, and I know it's got a few bad sectors to it. For me personally, that's fine. You know, obviously we want the best we can when we're sending it out to other people, but this should highlight something very important in regards to, at least with hard drive sentinel, and saying, you know, this is better than that. You know, maybe we should use, yes, it has some features. We can you know, print out the error reports and stuff, which we may actually be able to do with Victoria. I'll have to just check that. But yeah, so we've been going for about a minute now. Still, absolutely, it's registering nothing. There's no error reports down here whatsoever. Everything seems fantastic. Hunky dory. Right, so it's showing us 81, 83 good sectors, so on and so forth. Well, let's keep it going for another minute. Everything's green, everything's great, looking good. Nothing wrong with this disc at all, whatsoever. Bum ba dum ba da. So we'll let that run for about 2 minutes. We'll give it a few more seconds and then we'll stop it. Now notice, more than anything, the green on the first few bits here, which on the video you'll now see me zooming into. Now everything's good, everything's green. Now let's stop that test. Yep, because we don't want it to interfere with the other one. We'll keep that up there. Right, now we're going to go over to Victoria. Same drive, ending B0. And now we're going to hit start. And what I want you to take notice of is this. Now, the 20s, 50s, we're not really bothered about. They're minor, very minor. Everything else, we are going to take notice of. Now, keep in mind, on this test, we went to about 1.57% of the hard drive. Now, we're going to hit start on Victoria, and I want you to notice something straight away. Okay, there we go. Boom. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Blah, 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 blah. Now, in case of this hard drive, completely different set of results. Completely different. We're going to let it go to about the same. We're going to let it go for a couple of minutes. Let it get to that 1.57%. And then we're going to check. Now, I know for a fact this hard drive has 1 or 2 bad sectors on it, which we've just reached one, I believe. Boom, there we go, that's 1. Boom, that's 2. On that sector of that hard drive, I know that exists. So hard drive sentinel seems to have missed it, and Victoria's picked up on it. as well as the multitude of other errors. Now, without seeing the test performed, I can't tell you exactly what was going on, but at the moment, as you can see, two completely different sets of results. If we go down here, the performance and health of the disc is excellent. But is it? See, what's happening at Aspire is, what we're aiming to do is make it damn near perfect. You know, we will get rid of hard drives with a couple of bad sectors. We don't necessarily have to, but we do, because we want the best. The best things we've got should be going in these systems. But as you can see, and yeah, I know, keep in mind this is before we tested anything. This was just brought home. It works for me. It's great. But look at the difference between Victoria and hard drive Sentinel. I'm much happier, at least with this drive, looking at Victoria and saying, well, there you go. That doesn't pass our standards. Out it goes. Then looking at that and seeing, oh, well, look at that. Everything's okay. Let's ship it out. When there's another scan will show up this. It's just, it's not right whatsoever. It's not something I personally am willing to just vouch. Again, let's look at this from another angle. Let's go to the other disc. So let's go to this one, which has got 97% health. It's read a few bad sectors. So we'll start a test on this one. Surface test. Beep, beep, beep. Start. Now, having already done this one already, I know it's going to flag up a couple of issues. So let's have a look. So the first few lines of sectors we're going to let it go through. And while that's happening, I'll just be setting this other one up. So I believe it's that one. Oh, my bad. My bad. Which one? So I believe it's that disc. 7474, right. So yeah, we got a couple of redundancy error checks here coming through. Which, notice it's not saying they're actually absolutely knackered. But it's doing its thing. It's going through that. It will show us a few errors on this disc. And it keeps trying, It's not going to get anywhere, so it'll come up as damaged or bad, one or the other. I'll just let it do its thing for a minute. Notice it keeps trying. So the estimate, there we go. It's put it down as a bad sector because it was having trouble reading that. Okay. So we're going to let it go through, let's say, to 1 or 2%. See, we're not going to catch everything 100% of the time. If we did, we'd be gods. But let's keep looking at this for a minute. I'll say we'll let it reach about 1%, and then we'll try Victoria on the exact same drive. Don't make any assumptions because these are my drives. I'm happy with them. But in terms of Aspire and the quality, I want us to show our drives don't have bad sectors. Period. So we've reached 1%. We'll stop it there. Okay. one bad sector. And this is actually, the tests read it differently the second time, because I know this other damaged sector, it's probably, I don't think it goes to repair them in this mode, but it might well have done. Right, so the exact same disk, 874, 874. And we're going to run the same test now. So it's already flagged up some issues. Again, it's showing us a much more decent breakdown of what's happening. As you can see, lots of small errors, tiny little things. I mean, you look at how it reads them, and you know they're nothing in the grand scheme of it. They're less, well, they're about the blink of an eye, no more than that. So that's not something we're going to worry about. Like I say, we're going to let it look. Here we go. We've reached the errored sector, so it's read it. So both of them have read the exact same error. And what we're looking for is at that 1% mark. What have we actually got as a rundown? Me personally, I think it's a better rundown on Victoria, because we can see exactly where the faults lie. Keep in mind the other test took longer because it kept trying to go through that same sector again and again to see if it could get anything. So we'll get it. In fact, we'll let it get to about the 2 or 3% mark, I think. Give it a bit more of a run. But as you can see already, we've got much more information. We can see how many sectors are within tolerance. We can see how many are just out, how many are slightly more out than that. No ones that cause concern before leading to a failure. Now we reached 1.1%, and we've got a full list of errors. Keeping in mind that, like for instance, if we have so many 600 millisecond blocks, we'd fail it at Aspire. And that wasn't even registered in our Drive Sentinel. We didn't get that information at all. We got the CRC error. It found the bad sector, but we didn't get anything else. And just the way it's running down the sectors also, the block sizes, for instance. So pretty much I'm going to stop it there. We've reached about double. And the next thing I'll do, I mean, I'll run through the drive twice and see what the end result is. It was mentioned that one seemed to find more than the other, but quite frankly, I've looked at 2 discs and looked at the 2 feedbacks, and Victoria seems to have been more on the ball than Hard Drive Sentinel. It's there you see it. Victoria having done literally twice the job. They both found the errored sector. This actually found more wrong than the other one did. So that's my take on it. At the minute, I'm happy to use Victoria from what I've seen and from what I know. Like I say, I know it's used in the shop, and I know other places use it. But Hard Drive Sentinel is one of the easier ones to find as well. I wonder if that factors into things, whereas Victoria, not everybody knows about it. It seems to do the job pretty well. Anyway, there you have it, and there we go.